All right, we're back. It is Friday the 13th on in December.
I know,
It's like
and I totally was
the
gonna I was totally was gonna wear my hockey mask to work today, and I forgot.
it's like we're having an incursion here between Halloween and Christmas, and the 2 points are touching, and all that weird fictional science that we believe in. Good evening. This is Multiverse, and we are back. And this is essentially going to be part two of the PlayStation anniversary episode. We have Terrence with us this week. Jay is out, or I think he's out tonight. So he was here last week, and he tagged Terrence in. Real life superhero. How are you doing, Terrence?
Doing pretty good. I'll be trying to tap that mute button as quick as I can because I got a bout of bronchitis, so doing a lot of coughing. So if I suddenly cut off, it's because I'm about to start coughing.
Hacking.
So other than that, doing well.
Good. We love it when you're here. So glad to see you. Mike, you got the dress shirt on. You're looking spiffy tonight, sir. How you doing?
Yeah, that and the jeans. I think it's good. I know me. I just had to get off the couch, wake up, get on the mic.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's dangerous business there. Laying on the couch.
I thought I had missed it. I thought I was.
I was looking at the messages. Like, what is he talking about? What happened?
Like, wait, he said he was coming.
Yeah.
I said y'all recording. I thought y'all were currently recording. I didn't want to come in late.
We gotta put out those vibes to make sure like we're recording, like it's going to happen. So come on and get in here, get off. Cut that nap short, get in here. I got confused for a second. I'm like, was it Mike or was it Jay that said they weren't coming in? So
And do you think anybody be mad if you came in like, oh God, Mike, you ruined the recording?
Right.
That's probably not. At that time I said it, my pillow was still talking to me. It was still whispering in my ear. Like the guy from Worm Tongue from damn Lord of the Rings who was whispering in my ear like, I don't need you right now. You go on, come on, I need you.
It's risky business, man. Taking those evening to nighttime naps. Now I was out all day, and I came home and took a nap because I knew I was going to pass out. Because then those thoughts start creeping in your head. Like, do you really want to record tonight? I'm tired, man. But took the nap, and got recharged. Last but not least, we have Robert, our information delivery man. How are you?
Me. I'm good. I had a quick funny story about a song that I found. Do you guys remember the old cartoon from like a long ass time ago, the Samurai Pizza Cats?
I know the name. I couldn't point it out of the lineup.
Yeah, I remember watching it like in middle school, but I was playing The Division. I was flipping through YouTube trying to find something to listen to while I was farming in the game, and I saw Samurai Pizza Cats featuring the lead singer of another band that I listened to. So I thought somebody made like a metal cover of it, and I was going to listen to it. And I got like halfway through, and I'm like, this has nothing to do with Samurai Pizza Cats. And so I restarted it. I'm like, oh wait, that's the name of the band, and the song is actually about how pineapple ruins pizza.
Oh wow!
They caught you.
They caught me.
Got him.
Yeah, they got you.
They got me.
Yeah, good job. Good job.
I was scrolling and not reading all the way.
It happens.
It's a good song though.
I have to take your word for it.
Yeah, if you like a lot of screaming. You like screaming and heavy metal.
Let's see. What can we all? We have a couple of things. Let's just jump right into it. The first rumor, I'm calling them rumors now, even though, as I've noticed over the years, they tend to come out. They tend to come true in some way or version. So Chris Evans is supposed to be coming back to Marvel in Doomsday, but as Nomad. We got any quick thoughts on this?
As who?
As Nomad?
Nomad. You familiar with this
I
version?
remember that guy from the 90s, and he shoot like dummy bullets, and you had it.
That was another. Who was that? It was another Bucky that took over after him. This was after he got fired by the U.S.
Oh, when he became the first U.S. agent, when he was all black.
No, this was like another.
Yeah, I think he was fired. I think he was that the '90s Nomad. I think was the the 50s Captain America.
Yeah, Steve. And there was another one, and I think one of the Buckies. It had to have been. Oh, yeah.
So is this another way for him to be Cap without being Cap and without putting on the old man makeup?
Yes, and he had like glasses and glasses.
Yeah, he rode a motorcycle.
Yeah,
he's basically like Lorenzo Lamas Renegade.
That's a good one. I think Cap's version had a cape. He had a couple costumes, and I don't remember who the other one was, which is bad. I don't remember who it was. I see a name here, Jack Monroe. That's not ringing a bell. But that's the rumor right now. So, quick thoughts or no thoughts about this at this time?
I mean, it's not surprising that he's going to be back.
Mm-hmm. And you say that why?
I mean, he's not really doing a whole lot of things, movie wise, and also it's a.
First of all, Robert, I gotta stop you there. You're wrong. All right, all that red Eagle One money is coming in right now.
And the Gray Man, his Oscar-winning performance in the Gray Man.
Yeah, and oh god, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, where he was doing all that cursing, but all I saw was Captain America undercover, like
with a mustache.
Right. I saw that was headed to Amazon soon, so I was like, okay, just in time for Christmas. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there. What were you? Go ahead and finish your statement.
Oh, I was just saying that he's not really found a lot of success doing his solo. I know there's some artsy stuff that he's been doing that I'm sure he enjoys, but anything else that's mainstream, he's not really getting a lot of success for. So
I think he missed that MCU paycheck.
Yeah. And maybe he had too much fun with hanging out with Ryan Reynolds.
All right, Terrence, Mike, you got anything on the rumor?
I don't have any knowledge. I'm cool with it. I don't know this particular version of character he's talking about, but I want Steve Rogers back in some capacity. Mm-hmm. I mean, eventually he'll be Cap. If they kind of follow the storyline or whatever, eventually he'll be Cap again. So I'm cool with him being there. I've heard rumors of maybe him even doing the Hydra, being an actual Hydra Cap.
I would actually be more open to that than no.
Yeah, I'm actually be open to that as well. So I mean, as long as they don't mess it up, and because I love movie Cap, I really do. So. As long as they just don't mess it up, man, because I'm not excited. And more I think about it, the less and less excited I get about RDJ doing this Dr. Doom thing in any capacity. I'm losing interest rapidly.
You were initially on board. You didn't have a problem initially, right?
I was okay with it, but now it's just like, And more I think about it, the more and more I look at it. If they're not going to do a real Dr. Doom, just don't do it. I don't need this switcheroo. I just don't need it. So, more and more I think about it, listen to this. With that, I don't even want Dr. Doom is just depressing altogether. Back to Cap. They just do it right, and let's just see if they even do. Well, I guess they kind of already did the U.S. agent when he was in Wakanda.
Yeah, that could be interpreted that way, and so could the Nomad thing. Honestly, because he was kind of on the outs with the I took I looked at it as Nomad when he was during Infinity War without the mask on. It was just his face and everything. So either one of those could be interpreted that way. Terrence, you got any?
Just to address the whole comic book thing first. That Nomad from the '90s comics was the third Bucky.
Okay.
All right. Jack Monroe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one that had the little end in his ear and the shades, and he was shooting rubber bullets.
Yeah. The shades, the trench coat, the motorcycle.
That's the one I'm familiar with.
Yeah, that's the one I remember. As far as the whole Chris Evans thing coming back, I feel the same way Mike does with it, just like with the whole Doomsday thing to begin with. If he's not Like, if RDJ is not playing a proper Doom, just don't bring him back. If Chris Evans isn't playing a proper Captain America, just don't bring him back. Like, I don't know how to feel about it because I don't know which way they're going. So my feeling is like I'm taking a wait and see approach. I'm not getting hype or upset about it one way or another. I don't know how they're playing this. Marvel, they just got me kind of up in the air about a lot of things these days. I don't get hype when the rumor mill comes around. I don't get disappointed. I just go, I'll just wait and see, take it for what it is. I'm going to go see all this stuff no matter what. So, nothing gets me, but I just don't get that excitement anymore. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this. Like, nothing really does that for me anymore these days. I go see a lot of stuff, but nothing makes me go, oh my gosh. I don't get that that adrenaline rush, that excitement that makes me go, oh, I got to mark this on the calendar anymore. I'm going to go see it regardless, but there's just no hype for it. So I'm just taking the wait and see approach. I don't really have any thoughts. My head's not spinning trying to figure out like how they're going to approach this. It's just kind of a wait and see
approach. Okay. So here's the other thing. So the reason why I think they're bringing these characters back is to re-energize interest, but the roles that they're playing doesn't seem to be permanent roles. They're kind of like Band-Aid. So like I see you guys point with the excitement. So Robert Downey will probably be active in 2 movies and have some kind of cameo in Fantastic Four movie. And to be honest, if Evans is coming back as Nomad, I'm anticipating him to die in the Doomsday movie at some point. So it just seems like Band-Aids, and they're reaching back to just gain like a cheap pop, so to speak. And a lot of stuff they've been doing seems to have been on the fly the last couple of years. But to you guys' points, like, we hope it works out. Of course we don't mind seeing Evans or Downey to a point, but it's like these roles that they're taking, they seem very short term, and how is it going to advance that whole product?
Yeah, we all just kind of feel like one-off cameos.
Yeah, like it's like, I don't know. It just seems cheap. It doesn't seem like the excitement is earned. Because I still don't know how we're going to end up at these points where these big, gigantic Avenger movies, like what's happened the last couple of years to warrant this? Ant-Man beat Kang, and
it's random. There's no proper build-up.
Right.
No proper escalation to anything. It's just much random shit here, random shit there, and we're just gonna throw it all into the pot and see what we can.
Yeah, it's an MCU gumbo right here. Like, we're just gonna throw it in and see what sticks. All we have are these semi-interesting after credit scenes that have gone nowhere. A couple of them are a couple of years old, so we'll see what happens. Robert Downey shows up and he's acting like Iron Man, but in a Dr. Doom suit. I'm going to be turned off.
That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
We needed an accent at least.
I think the casuals will eat it up. Me, I'll just be sitting there shaking my head.
Ooh, that's the problem. The casuals.
Oh, here go Mike. Yeah, get him.
Anti-casual over here.
Yeah, it's been Mike versus the casuals the last couple of weeks. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, the casuals kill me, man. It's like I don't know if they're making it better or worse. When they start to affect my comics, or just, oh my Jesus, casual just getting your nerves. They talk to you like they're talking about it. Run up on you. I had this one guy was telling me.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
He kept saying, "Isn't it good to finally have an authentic Doom?" I said, "What?"
Where?
What are you talking about? How can this be authentic? Well, it's good. They say it's gonna be authentic. It's got why they got art. No, boy, that's no. Oh, just go. I can't. I know. By the end of the conversation, he was mad at me. Is
this the same guy that always leaves mad? It seems like there's somebody.
He ain't talked to me since this day. This is the last time he talked. This is the matter of fact, he spoke, but as far as comics and stuff, he don't get mad. He don't come at me no more. This is the last time.
Mike sound like Hank Hill talking to Bobby. That boy ain't right.
He's on his Magneto right now. You're not a pure blood, man. Like you're out. Like don't talk to me.
I don't know if I felt. I'm kind of at the point with Marvel stuff, or not Marvel, just movies in general. Like, I'm glad it finally got here, but the effect it's having on these people and how they coming at me, I just don't.
Early on, it seemed like these movies were pushing people to read books. Now it's the movies are kind of swayed towards them so that they don't have to,
right?
Which is unfortunate. Should always read. We'll see what happens. When is that? What's that? We got like another 2 years. Next year is Fantastic Four and Superman. I don't know about
and
the
Cap.
second. Okay, there you go. And that's right around the corner. With its continued reshoots, are we
Thunderbolts?
That's right. So is it 3 movies next year or 2?
3 Marvel movies and Superman.
Okay. So, stumbling into Captain America, like, I want to same question: are reshoots or reshoots? Every time I hear reshoots at this point, I'm confused why this is still happening. I know we're all going to see it, but is anybody concerned, or you feel positive about this project? Because it seems like over time, since the initial trailer, confidence or uncertainty has creeped in since that time. We'll go back to you, Terrence. I know you've seen the news with the reshoots. What are you thinking?
I don't worry about reshoots per se because every major blockbuster movie these days they schedule reshoots. Like reshoots are built into the they're built into the time frame for the shooting. Like you shoot the movie post production, like the reshoots are built into like the post production time. They have it's all scheduled in there. But I am pretty sure that there were some extensive reshoots after the after some of the initial viewings of the movie. I know I know they changed some stuff around with the one female agent, because I think she was initially supposed to be Sabra.
Oh yeah,
and I think they
why.
Yeah, and they changed her into another character, and I think they might have changed some stuff around with some of the Serpent Society characters. I know a lot of stuff. I know that a lot of stuff changed more than usual with some reshoot stuff, but the trailers look good. You can't tell. There's only so much you can tell from a trailer, but I will say the trailers are good. Whether the movie will be great or not, I have no idea. But I've been impressed by the trailers. But I've been let down by movies that had great trailers, and I've been surprised by movies that had shitty trailers. So
that's true. When you talk about trailers that have let me down in my time, Sucker Punch always comes to it's like great trailers. And that movie, I've only seen that movie once. I'm so mad at that movie. It looked great. I should actually look that up and see if it's still bad. Maybe I'm just too young to understand the complexity of Snyder back then. So maybe I'll just go back and take a look. And the movie looked great, but it was not a good movie.
I managed to fall asleep at that. With all that shit going on in that movie, I managed to fall asleep.
I did too. I was in the theater, 40th Street, that little one, not the those of you familiar, they're in the Philadelphia area. The one before the bridge, which isn't the bridge anymore, that little hole in the wall, 40th Street. I went there to see it. Fell asleep in there, and that was dangerous. It could have been robbed, but everybody else was probably asleep too. But Mike, what do you think? Where's your confidence with this movie right now, or it hasn't changed? Or I know we're all going to see it, but
I'm still going to see it. I don't watch trailers, so I'm not excited here. I can't help but see Red Hulk, though. That was one of the things you can't miss. It literally was impossible for me to miss that. I do my best to miss all trailers. I'm not excited, but I'm not against it either. Again, for me, it's a way to get to the end. I know he spent time. I think Sam is still currently Captain America. They're doing the shared thing like Spider-Man is. Okay, I can live with that. Again, I just need. I'm not excited, but I'm not against it. I'm right in the middle. They still got my ticket. I'm gonna be there the first weekend for the first opening weekend. Let's just go ahead and get to it.
Okay. What you got, Rob?
I mean, when I first saw that they brought in Isaiah Bradley in there, I was like, okay, they're connecting it all. It looks very interesting. They have a place to go. I mean, I was ready to watch it, the first time they mentioned that they were going to do it. As for them doing reshoots, like what Terrence said, yeah, that's something that happens all the time. But they also, in all the articles, they've mentioned that they're doing the research because of poor test audiences. So that doesn't really exactly fill me with a lot of confidence that what they're doing is either I don't even know. Either it's not following a story that they want in the right direction that they want, or it's just there's not enough of something in there to keep the audience engaged. And from everything in the trailer, I don't know what else they would need, honestly. You can't have you have Serpent Society guy, you got Red Hulk, you have maybe whatever leads into Thunderbolts, I think they've already made the mistake of having some oversaturated films. Maybe they're scaling back. I don't know, but I'm still excited to see it regardless.
I was going to say that it almost seems like too many villains possibly with Serpent Society, but it depends on how they're already different. They seem like a terrorist group than what they were in the comics. They were deep. There was like 9 or 11 of them villains with like snake-based powers. Yeah, and I mean they had a couple hitters, not Hulk or Thor level type powers to my recollection, but they may just be snatching the name and applying it to. What were you gonna say, Terrence?
Like I will say this one thing that I am excited about: if the tone of the trailer is true to the tone of the movie, I'm excited for that to get back to a more Winter Soldier like tone. To have comedy, like to have a movie where like that MCU comedy tone doesn't undercut like the rest of the flow of a movie, to have a more serious type of political thriller where you could have some bits of humor, but it's not always trying to undercut or undermine the drama that's going on. So I do look forward to that if the movie is true to the tone of the trailer.
I'll agree with that. I got just a little bit of that from Thunderbolts also. Like I would like for them to like change the focus to kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Earthbound, like something closer to the ground. Like everything doesn't have to be a doomsday event every single movie or multiverse or whatever. Like I'll watch a movie with them fighting terrorists or some terrorist organization.
Back up to it.
Yeah. So I hope both the movies have that. We already know after those two movies. But you mentioned Fantastic Four won't be that. So Thunderbolts and Cap. I hope that does work out. So I do agree with you there. We do have some other news here. Cavill's Warhammer. I'm not sure if we mentioned this last week. That was approved on Amazon. So the one thing we do know, it's going to look very good. They're going to have all the money it needs to look good. I'm not familiar with this property at all. I'm not sure if any of you guys play Warhammer. No, okay. So we'll all be discovering together.
They did actually. I don't know if we were going to talk about it later, but the Amazon vignettes show of all the video games.
The secret
level. Okay. Yeah, they had a Warhammer one, and it was probably one of the better ones.
Okay, and can you talk about that a little bit more, Robert? I know you mentioned it earlier, and I haven't checked it out yet. What is this show about?
So it's the people who did, I think it's called Love, Sex, and Robots on Netflix.
Yeah, weird stories. So
weird anime.
Weird,
so they basically are doing the same things, very, very awesome animated, but they're like, 8 to 12 minute long stories, basically animated trailers for, properties that exist. There was one for Dungeons and Dragons. There was one for... what was the other one?
You mentioned Pac-Man, I think.
There's a weird-ass one for Pac-Man. There was Warhammer, Armored Core, New... Is it called New World, I think, is one of the Amazon MMO. That one was funny, and it had the voice of Arnold Schwarzenegger as the character in it. Mm-hmm. Neo... Or, no, it's not Neo. There's an Sifu. That was another game that they did. But basically, they're just kind of very short stories inside the world of the game, but not involving characters that you know. Except for, I think that they put out like 8 now, and there's going to be some more later, and they're going to have a God of War one with Kratos, so they are going to have a Mega Man one as well.
Okay. So
they're all pretty good. I don't think any of them were disappointing.
So they're doing all video games, like it's not just one. Okay.
No, they're all video games, or video game adjacent, like the Dungeons and Dragons one.
Okay. And this is something you recommend?
I think all of them are good, except for I think the only one is the Sifu one. That's because I'm not too familiar with the game, but from what I read, they highlighted it pretty good. So if you were to, watch it and be like, hey, that looks like a cool game, it does highlight, what the game is and what it's about and the world that it's in.
Okay. And this is something you recommend based on what you've seen so far?
Oh, yeah. I'd recommend it for sure.
Okay.
Even if you're not interested in the worlds that they are built in, the animation is very, very well done. And it's live action-esque, Uncanny Valley, really good 3D animation.
Okay. All right. I am going to check that out. That and I have that, The Madness, and on Netflix. And I didn't see Creature Commandos this week. Did anybody watch yet?
I did.
Not this week.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about Mike? What did you think of this week's episode?
Like I was saying off mic, I finally caught all of them. I didn't do any of them last week, so I did them all this week. Is that what I say? It's very James Gunnish when I say that. He took characters that nobody's ever heard of, or at least I never, and I'm not familiar with.
I'm not either.
And added some comedy, added a little nudity, and now it's a decent show. We're going to have people all of a sudden saying that they've been Creature Commandos forever. Our fans have never heard of.
Yep.
That's what we're going to have. And it's all right.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't making me more excited about the upcoming DC universe, though. It's really not. If it's going down this tone, I ain't saying it's turning me off, but it damn sure it ain't getting me excited.
I got you. All right, short and sweet. Terrence, what you got?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think I share a lot of Mike's sentiments. It's very solid work. Very James Gunn has got all his hallmarks. It takes a lot of obscure characters that you wouldn't think in a million years you would care about, and you sit there, you watch a few episodes, you go, okay, I kind of like this ragtag group, but it's nothing amazing. It's solid James Gunn work. You've seen him do this a few times already. It's not going to win any awards for animation. So I think it's good, solid work. I would tell anybody, yeah, sure, check it out. But it's nothing that I'm running to on my social media, go, you've got to check this out right now. If anybody asks me about it, I go, yeah, definitely check it out. If you like James Gunn's work, you'll definitely like this. I don't think it's the best stuff he's ever done. Like I said, it's not going to win any awards for animation, but it's good, solid work, and I'll keep on following it to see where it ends up. Like I said, I like it. It's solid.
Okay.
Do you have the same sentiments that Randy Green does, saying that this is another example, and he's worried that this is what the whole James Gunn DCEU is going to look like?
So, who you directing the question towards?
I was asking Terrence.
Go ahead, because I have something on that. Well, go ahead.
I think with Superman, and because I thought this when he first got the Superman gig, and I hope this holds true. And I think he even said it in an early interview. I think he's got enough sense to know that he can't use all of his same tricks with a character like Superman, and he can't just do the rapid fire humor and kind of undercut some of the drama. So I think even though it does appear that he is going to be throwing in a lot of random DC characters in that movie, I think as far as the tone and plot goes, I think he is smart enough to understand what it takes to do a movie like Superman, especially as the live action introduction to this brand new universe. And I remember him saying that he was offered Superman before and turned it down because he didn't know how to tackle it. So I would think that him taking the job now would mean that he cracked the code and knows what to do. So I'm hoping I'm right.
I think Randy's concern is valid, but it's still early. It is. I don't want to say concerning, but you definitely see a pattern. You see where his groove is, right? You see where his strength is. But if you're going to be doing different characters, situations, different media platforms, you're talking about animation and live action, you're going to have to mix it up. Some things just do not mix with certain heroes. I don't want to see Superman or Batman, any of these other guys, in this same realm of storytelling. The one complaint I saw this week online was that people want to see him push more prominent characters instead of always the lesser knowns. Well, like, that is a strength, something that should be applauded, him making some of these names household names. But yeah, I can kind of get behind that. When his projects were announced, there weren't a lot of familiar big hitter names in there. I was excited for Green Lantern, and I've been saying for years, this is like something that I know what happened with Ryan Reynolds' movie, but they should have gone back to it sooner. Like, I don't, like, Ryan Reynolds, what was that, 10, 20, 15 years ago he did that movie? Like, yeah. That's criminal. to me, especially when I've seen them do Disney. To said it again, DCU animation. They've had strong Green Lantern. Products. Like if you're not going to now, what they're going to do is going to be live action. But like if he's going to be doing animation, that's something that would fit in the wheelhouse for that group for that property. It's still early. I haven't watched Creature Commandos again this week, so I'll be patient for now.
Yeah, I think James Gunn knows what he's doing. The Creature Commandos is connected to his Suicide Squad, which is connected to his Peacemaker, so it makes sense those all have the same tone. And I was talking to my friend Robin about this, and we kind of shared the same concerns at first after watching these, but at the same time, we looked at the characters that he kind of picked out for the Superman movie. He's got Guy Gardner, and he's got Metamorpho. So he's got a few people in there who are, kind of goof offs, and they talk smack, and they're kind of lackadaisic on their duties as superheroes, and it kind of makes me think like if James Gunn is due a Kingdom Come, or I don't know if you guys have ever read Superman Gen 13. But Gen 13, they're a bunch of teenagers. They're assholes. They're punks. And they do superhero stuff, but they're very reckless. But in the presence of Superman, they straighten up. They're inspired to actually be better. And I think that might be what they're trying to go for, maybe in the Superman movie. These heroes have been doing their shtick for a while, but then they see like a real hero, and they're like, holy shit, that's how it's supposed to be done.
Okay.
That's the hope that I have anyway. That way he can kind of still transition into a more serious tone, but not completely give up, some of the humor and, the stuff that we got used to seeing him doing Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad and stuff like that.
All right. So we're all still in a wait and see point with Gunn, but so far so good is what I'm hearing. Before we get into the PlayStation anniversary, continue that conversation. Terrence, did you watch Kraven? That's out. Because what I would like.
You poor soul.
And Rob, you can jump in because you two are the ones I know who were keeping up with.
I tried to. I wasn't able to make it this week yet.
We need a quick autopsy report, Terrence. Something quick. I know. You weren't given enough warning about this, but you saw Kraven?
Yeah, I went for the lols.
Yeah, the lols.
For the lols.
What happened?
That has to be the only reason to see him at this point.
Yeah, so I went. I was one of about 6 people in my theater. I was pissed off because I couldn't even get any mozzarella sticks. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're not serving any hot food anymore, except for popcorn." Yeah, popcorn. Yeah, I was like, "Nah, I'm good." So anyway, yeah, I couldn't work up the energy to be as angry as a lot of critics were on YouTube. It's just because this is kind of the end of it all. I mean, there's still that Spider-Man Noir movie coming out. I think that's a live action one. But as far as the truly despicable movies that you can see where you can smell the stink from a mile away, I think this is the end of those truly despicable non-Spider-Man movies. Well, Noir actually has a Spider-Man in it, at least. So yeah, this is the end of the non-Spider-Man movies. So yeah, like I said, I couldn't work up the energy to be truly astounded at how bad it was. And trust me, it was bad, and there was some truly baffling decisions made, and there was a surprise villain towards the end. I won't spoil that, but they kind of.
I'm sorry. Who are you spoiling it for? Go ahead and say it.
Who are you saving it?
Go ahead and say it.
Oh man, the chameleon makes a cameo towards the end, but they kind of they kind of pepper it in all throughout there. So Kraven's brother becomes the chameleon at the end.
Yeah, I know they were boys in the comic.
Yeah, but they kind of pepper it in all throughout the movie. They kind of plant the seeds for it, but not in a way like he's a master disguise of anything. He can imitate voices. That's the way they pepper it in. Like all throughout the movie, he displays this ability to just be able to copy anybody's voice. But he's a coward throughout the whole movie, and then at the end, after all the action is over with, and he finally decides, yeah, I'm gonna be the man now. I'm gonna take over our father's drug empire. I'm gonna be the man. He mentions that he went to see some doctor who helped him out with all his problems, and then you see his face change, and you're like, oh, what the fuck was that? How does his face change? And Kraven's all, well, what? Tell me about this doctor. Who's this doctor you went to see? And he's like, don't worry about it, bro. You just go back. You just go back home. Father left you a gift. I'm taking care of things now. And you see his face flash into like the regular white chameleon face before it turns back into the normal face that he's had throughout the movie. He imitates Kraven's face, and then it flashes to the white comic book chameleon face that we know, and then it turns back into his regular face that we've seen throughout the whole movie. So I'm like, that's what all that was. All the voice imitation was the lead up to him being revealed as the chameleon at the end. I'm like, this it's like, what? So that was hilarious. But yeah, there was actually a couple of decent action sequences. It was doomed from the beginning, because from the first trailer, we knew it was doomed from the beginning, because you made Kraven the exact opposite of what he was. Kraven is like Kraven hunts sport, whether they be man or beast. He doesn't go around hunting bad guys. He hunts sport. He doesn't care whether you're good or evil. All he cares about is if you are a challenge. Right away, they said, well, we're going to take Kraven and we're going to make him a good guy. He's or anti-hero rather. Basically, he's just the Punisher with the powers of Kraven. So right from the beginning, it was doomed to fail. Like I wish Sony had the balls that Warner Brothers did. Just give us a villain like the Penguin. Give us a villain who's not afraid to be a villain.
I agree
Do
with
something
ballsy.
Turning
him into a
so it was already doomed to fail from the beginning.
Killer,
but it had a couple of decent action sequences. But there was some shitty CGI. The Rhino looked horrible. The Rhino's funny. He's just this nerdy guy who he's in a suit all the time. He's in a button-up shirt and slacks, and he wears a backpack on. The reason he wears a backpack is because you see him in the beginning of the movie in a long flashback sequence that explains how teenage Kraven got his powers. And then later on, you see the guy who becomes the Rhino, and they don't explain right away how he became the Rhino. You just notice he's always got this backpack on with a tube coming out the backpack going into his side. Now, he explains later on that he went seeking power, and he went to some scientist or voodoo doctor, or I don't know what the fuck he did. So he went through this experiment that gave him the powers of Rhino, but it causes him great pain. So the only way to stay human is to have this tube with this chemical going into him. So the chemical keeps him human. When he takes the tube out, that's when he transforms back into the Rhino. So the Rhino looked horrible. There's this other bad guy called the Foreigner.
He was in there too?
Yeah. And
wow.
As far as I don't know much about the Foreigner, but from what I know in the comics, he's just like a regular assassin. He doesn't have any special powers.
Yeah.
In the movie, he's got this ability where he looks at you, he can manipulate you. It's like a type of telepathy. But the way they show it in the movie is once he takes his glasses off, it's like a quick flash. It looks like there's like this weird slow motion time dilation effect, and people just stop in their tracks as the slow motion effect goes. And he always counts to 3. 1, 2, 3. And usually he's fucking with like the security or cops. Takes his glasses off, goes 1, 2, 3. Then he'll take the cop's gun and shoot them, and then I don't know, plant some evidence or whatever. So he's working for the Rhino as one of his spies, and like they made so many terrible decisions. There's so much bad CGI, so much bad green screen, so much bad dialogue. There's a couple of good action sequences. They released the first 8 minutes on the internet. The first there's a prison sequence that opens up the movie. So that whole sequence is it's out there on YouTube or wherever you want to look it up. So that's when you knew shit was going to be bad, when they're just giving away like the first 8 to 10 minutes of the movie. Like, please come see our movie. We'll give you the first 10 minutes for free. Just come see. But
not a good sign.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see where it had some potential, but if you're a comic fan, you knew that it was just they squandered it to begin with. They're giving you the opposite of what this character is right from the very beginning. It's not true to the nature of the character anyway. So it's Kraven in name only, and it's only right at the very end that he puts on his traditional like fur vest and he sits in his crown and he's slouching with his and looking at looking into the screen like what you see in the poster. So it's a waste of talent. It's a waste of money, and I think it's probably going to take in the least money out of all these projects, and Sony can finally get their heads out of their asses, and I don't know. Just make animated Spider-Man movies.
So one comp that I heard for this movie, they called him a white Black Panther.
Basically, that's another problem I had with it, because when you see him like climbing around and doing stuff, it looks like wire work from martial arts movies from like the 2000s and 90s. It's like it's like really bad wire work. Like, because it looks like he's just, as he's like climbing walls and trees, it looks like he's just floating. Yeah, it's just some really bad wire work. So, if it wasn't called Kraven, and they had some better if it wasn't called Kraven and they had some better writers, maybe a slightly better origin for how he got the powers, it could have been not as laughably bad. It could have been like Venom mediocre. But as it stood, I was entertained. I'll give it that, because I was sitting there without my mozzarella sticks because they turned off the fryers before 9:00. I was sitting there like, you know what? This is some bullshit. I'm laughing my ass off.
That was, with the plans for that night, the mozzarella sticks were the highlight.
Yeah.
Would have been.
Yeah.
I just went to Red Lobster last week, and the mozzarella sticks were great. And like, I hadn't had them in a long time, so I'm like, these are like the best mozzarella sticks I've ever had. And then I had to share with 3 other kids, so I wasn't happy. I was like, I only had one, guys. All right, so we'll leave Kraven where he is. I'm sure he'll end up on streaming. We're going to get to PlayStation, and we're going to go to the year 2006, and the PlayStation 3 dropped. Now, Terrence, you weren't with us last week, but we were just talking about how, like, at this point, the PlayStation is a relative. Somebody we've known for about 30 years, and different parts of our lives. We kind of grew with this system. Now, in 2006, I was still working at Rite Aid, and I hated that job. But some of the titles that came out with the PlayStation, we had the Assassin's Creed franchise was birthed. We got Batman, Arkham Asylum, City, and we had Origins. Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. GTA took another jump at GTA 4 and 5. Heavy Rain. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of that one for Sony.
Yeah.
It's another. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Another choose your own adventure type game, and that was the game I was mentioning last week, where my wife was saying you can't play this game until I get home, because she was watching it. It was like a TV show for her. Like, you can't play it until I get home. The Last of Us.
What game was that?
Heavy Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy Rain. PlayStation 3 gave us The Last of Us. Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. I'm not. I thought it came out earlier than that one. But that was a really good game. The first one. We had Metal Gear: Guns of the Patriot and Red Dead Redemption. And this system kind of I don't remember this on the previous system, but we're starting to get DLCs now for some of the games. 2006. Now, I mentioned some of the games that were big for me. Chancellor, let you go first. You weren't here last week, but what are your your memories with the PS3 back in 2006 and beyond?
Let's see, 2006. I couldn't get my hands on a PS3 in 2006. Those things were hot. They were selling.
Yeah, they were.
I remember there was a guy I graduated from Fire Academy with. He was selling them for like $800. So yeah, I waited till early 2007 to get my hands on one. I don't remember the first game I bought, but I remember buying Heavenly Sword. I think that was a 2007 game.
One of the launch titles, yeah.
That was a very good game. I think we mentioned that one not too long ago too. Heavenly Sword. Never had a follow up for that one.
Nah. So I remember I was doing pretty well, and I don't remember the exact area, but I just remember getting to this. I just remember getting to this point where I just stopped, because it was just a point where I just kept getting cheap shotted. I'm pretty sure I was just getting assaulted by arrows.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what part of the game it was. I think it was an area where you had to protect the little sister, and I was just getting assaulted by arrows, and it was a point where I just never picked it up again.
Oh wow!
I'm sure I could have, but I just moved on to something else.
Okay, I do remember that title. I did beat that title. I only played it once though, and I know why. I sold it, and I was going to buy it again, but they were selling it for more than what they gave me. I was still dealing with GameStop back then. And those bastards. But go ahead, continue. What else you got for the PS3?
Yeah, I want to say I'm pretty sure I sold mine too. Yeah, and I think I started buying a bunch of retro games because I had that PS3 that was backwards compatible. Because I remember some models of the PS3 weren't backwards compatible, and the one I had was. So I started buying up some old games.
Yeah, I think the first gen was the ones that were backwards compatible.
Yes, they were. And a funny, sad story. This was the first system that broke on me, kind of just conked out, and it was backwards compatible when it left, and to be repaired. When it was returned repaired, it was not backwards compatible. Damn. And they just took the shit from me. I said, fix it, not disable anything.
Not replace it.
Right. I probably could have got a lawyer to give me, spin that into a lawsuit somehow. But I do remember that when you mentioned backwards compatibility, they took it from me. I couldn't play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 anymore.
Wow. Damn.
It had the purple face, not even the black under CD face. It was purplish. It wouldn't play anymore.
Wow. Yeah. And I started buying up a lot of Blu-rays because that's when that started taking off. So I remember the first Blu-ray I bought was Spider-Man 3, just because that's what was out then. So it was like, well, I gotta take this thing for a test drive somehow. So Spider-Man 3 it is. So yeah. See, I don't remember much about 2007, but I can remember buying Metal Gear Solid 4. I want to say that was probably 2008, maybe 2008, 2009.
That was Guns of the Patriot. Guns of the Patriot. Let me phrase this right so the FBI don't hack into my computer. It was 2008 in June.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was a good game. It was a good game. Mike, what you got? Can you remember back that far, sir? 2006.
I can't give you year by year. I can't give you that.
You got to give me year by year. Just give me some of the game highlights for you back then.
It all blurred together. Some of the ones that stood out for me were the Darksider games. Well, I think Darksiders 1 and 2.
Okay.
They had that Joe Mattier, the comic book artist. He did some of the designs for the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the voice acting in that.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah, the Tomb Raider game, whichever one, didn't matter. I think it was several. I played them.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I think Uncharted. Whatever Uncharted was, that I loved all of them. I don't need to even pick one. I love them all. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions was on that. I enjoyed that. The Conan game for that. I think one person that might have played that would be Jay.
Okay.
I enjoyed that a lot. Different swords. He fought different ways, and the swords would break the longer you used them. Infamous. I really enjoyed Infamous. I thought that was a good game. And Deus Ex. I'm not a real big first-person game, but that game I stuck with, and I'm really glad I did. I enjoyed it. And of course, the Assassin's Creed games.
Mm-hmm. My man Ezio.
The Brotherhood is still my favorite Assassin's Creed. You get caught in some stuff, call your homeboys and come in.
Yes.
I loved Brotherhood. That was my favorite one. And what else? I think it was the Batman Arkham games. Again, it didn't matter which one. I pretty much enjoyed all of those games. What was that one that was made by a different company?
Origins, which is slept on. It's funny. I don't know what was happening. It was basically the same game, but it wasn't by the same people. And Origins had some good moments in it. This city just wasn't as big, if I remember correctly. And I only played that once.
Most of these games only got a one playthrough. I can't really go back and forth to play them again, but I enjoyed them all though. Everyone I mentioned, and plus a couple more that you mentioned, I enjoyed.
Okay.
And that's before they got too complicated, honestly. With the menus and such, you could be in the menus now. You PS5 for 3 hours and ain't played one game, just going through damn menus.
Well, if I'm remembering correctly, this is when they started with the DLCs. Now, you mentioned there was something with Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed definitely had DLCs, but the first one I bought was for Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare. Which is one of the better DLCs I ever played, and I know that was almost a controversy at the time. Like, you're not selling us the whole game. I
still haven't bought many DLCs, maybe one, and I'm talking about in all gaming. I maybe bought one DLC. I don't do if it ain't on, I'm just not gonna play it. It's just what it is.
Yeah,
I ain't no man on that.
I think they package it differently now. They use different words like a year-long pass or seasonal pass or whatever. Which it's just DLCs. But where was I going?
I think
I forget.
Street Fighter got hit for that pretty hard too. We're basically selling the game, making you buy stuff that was already on the disc. Street Fighter 4.
But okay, so talk about that a little bit more, Rob. What were your highlights for the PS3 back then?
PS3. So PS3, I think, was the first one that I was playing I had to like look because I had a 360 at the same time as PS3, and I'm looking. I'm like, okay, a lot of these games I played on the 360, like all the Call of Duties, at least the Modern Warfare ones. I didn't play any of the other ones. I played on the Xbox, but I did do my second playthrough of the entire Mass Effect trilogy on the PS3.
Okay.
So that was a big one. Grand Theft Auto 4, that's the last one that I played of the Grand Theft Autos, was number 4. I played that on the PS3.
That was Nico, right? In Liberty City? That was a good one.
This uncle calling you every fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was a good one.
God of War 3, that was a great one.
Yes.
What else did I play on there? I know I mentioned Street Fighter 4. I definitely played that one.
All 4 of them?
I'm sorry?
I said all 4 of them? I bought every single version of Street Fighter 4 that dropped.
Oh, right. Like
an idiot.
Oh, yeah. They had Super Street Fighter 4, and they had an arcade edition, and there's another one,
Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Ultra Street Fighter, there you go. That's right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Let's see, Assassin's Creed 2, yeah. Demon Souls, that was one of the first ones I played. What's funny is that the time when the PS3 came out, I was not a Souls player, and so I didn't really get very far in that. And now I'm playing the remake of Demon Souls on the PS5, and I'm almost beating it.
Okay.
And I think that comes from playing, some other games where I learned how to dodge and stuff. And also on the PS3 would be Borderlands 1 and 2. My introduction to those games. And that's because of Call of Duty. I went over to play Borderlands because Call of Duty was so serious and up its own ass. I wanted to play something that was fun and funny, so I went over to Borderlands.
Now, I know this system, I had some games here that actually I may have played on the next 3 systems afterwards. Now, I'll get to those in a second. Like, I remember 2006 before I was married, no kids. I was gaming, like, heavy. And I beat Arkham City. I did beat Arkham City once, but this was the one time I caught the Riddler. Now, if you played any of these Batman games, you know the Riddler's puzzles are all over the place. There's like over 100 of them. And I caught his ass, and like I beat this game down. Like, this was like the best Batman game I played, and I enjoyed that one. But The Last of Us was like an event for me. That was a good game, and I played this one on PS4 and PS5. Guns of the Patriot I'm always back and forth which one is the better Metal Gear, that one or 3. I tend to lean towards 3, but looking back, Assassin's Creed was that's all I was playing. That, God of War, and Dead Space kind of dominated my system. Then Black Flag came out on PS3, one of the better open world, better looking games. I unofficially retired from Assassin's Creed after that. I think did Desmond die in this one or the one before? But it kind of went off the tracks when they died. I don't know what they were thinking when they killed him. But yeah, like these games, this was probably the last system where I was able to put in a lot of time. Like, I was living totally different back then, like overnight shifts and girlfriend instead of wife, apartment. It was looking back, it was just some good memories with this stuff. I just remember not getting much sleep, just playing games. You guys got anything else before we move to the PS4 years?
No.
Nah, I was just buying a lot of fighting games, to tell you the truth. I didn't buy a lot of like AAA open world or adventure games. Like I was saying earlier, I bought all 4 versions of Street Fighter 4 like an idiot. Every time they dropped a new one, I was just like, yeah, Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, Street Fighter 4. I think I had whatever Soul Calibers were on PS3. So I think Soul Calibur 4, I think that's the one that had, I think that's the one that had Darth Vader I think the PSP version had Darth Vader. The Xbox 360 version had Yoda. Let's see, what else did I have on there? I don't know. I had a bunch of more obscure fighting games on there too. Like, pretty sure I probably had if there was some Guilty Gear games on PS3, I had those. I don't know. I had some other nonsense on there. And then, what else? Like you mentioned before, Heavy Rain. I got a kick out of Heavy Rain because there was it was designed by a French developer, and they had a bunch of French people trying to do English accents, and you could it was so obvious. It was like, what are you guys doing? Like, you couldn't get some English voice actors, like.
that game was really good, and I remember the big deal. Was it 4 characters you controlled?
Yeah.
Characters? So I remember back then it was like if one of the characters got killed during the story, like they were out. And like I was playing it safe, and I don't know if you remember the part when the girl, it's like early in the game, she went to go talk to a suspect or something, and he offered her tea. And to this day, I swore I denied it. Like, I didn't want the tea, but I ended up saying yes. I ended up chained up in the basement and had to escape and get out of there. And the funny thing is, I got all the way to the end of that game, and I cut it off while I was saving, and I had to start all over again. That time, I looked at the controller and hit the button like I'm not going down there, and I was able to search his house or whatever and leave before he came back. But I really liked that game, and I think I have it on a PS5. I just haven't played it. At this point, we're just hoarding games because they're free or on sale, and we never get a chance to really play them.
Yeah. I remember doing the FBI agent, and I kept getting. It was a QuickTime event where I kept getting taken out by this. I want to say it was like a sequence at an auto shop where he was doing his investigation, and this big burly dude kept taking me out. Like, I swear I was doing the QuickTime sequence right. I'm hitting the right sequence of buttons, but the dude kept taking me out. I mean, eventually I just looked up like all 4 storylines on the on YouTube just to see who the actual killer was. I was so disappointed because like the character I liked most was the killer. I was like, fuck.
That game was intense. Now the FBI guy, he in one of my playthroughs, he like OD'd on the glasses. I was using them so much, like he died. Like he died in the office. Like I remember it was like he was in the virtual world and he was just like slumped over on the table. I was like, oh shit, what happened? I was leaning so heavy on those glasses, and the dad, I was kind of.
What game was this again?
Heavy Rain. Like how you got to the end really depended on the choices that you made. And the dad had a choice. He went into this room. I remember it being like purple or red. He had to like cut his finger off or something crazy. And I was like, I'm not doing this shit. And the character left like, I can't do it for your son, not even for you. I was like, I'm not doing this. But that game was really good, and it's fun. It was awkward because there's like a love scene in there, and you gotta like say the right thing. And my wife's like right there, and I'm like coming on to like this virtual like woman, and like I don't remember much. I just remember like there was like a sex scene, and it was over. But you had to work to get to that point. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to score, dude. Like, So, but that was a really good game. There was never a sequel or anything in that, right?
Nah.
Spiritual ones, I think, in the same vein.
Right.
It was the same. Right. It was the same people that did Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
I think they're working on a Star Wars High Republic game right now.
Okay.
Oh, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't like that. I didn't like that one. I think I was over that. And it was all about like the assistant characters coming in. It's like you're fighting 3 people at once. So you just hitting the. I was retired.
Like once they moved away from like the like that sprite work.
Yeah,
I didn't like it as much.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this one lasted. I think PS3 dropped, and I said 06, and the PS4 dropped in 2013. So that was about 6.
Wait, PS3 did one more thing before you did the PS4.
Sure.
It gave me a real wireless controller.
True that.
DualShocks,
and just the ability to turn it off. You know, because the PS2 you could turn it off, but it wasn't really off. It was kind of sleeping. You had to get the power button on the back to turn it off.
Right.
The PS3, you could turn that son bitch off, and you could turn it back off from across the room.
You're right.
For a lazy guy like me, that meant a lot. I was appreciative of that.
Well, I'm about to talk to you about some lazy guy perks that really appealed to me when we get to some of these other systems. PS3 was now I had a question that before we move on. Were we able to download games on this one from the PSN store? Was the PSN store introduced in PS3?
Yeah, because I remember downloading Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and X-Men arcade game.
You're right, because the DLC started, and you had to download them from the network. Now, there were no memory cards on this one, right? This one, everything was hard drive. Okay. Yeah.
I think they had the cloud, too. Cloud saves.
I think you're right. And you're definitely right. This is when PSN was introduced. I remember having to create an account to get Red Dead Redemption, the DLC. So yeah, you're absolutely right. But yeah, it was around for a whole 7 years. I think this was the one that lasted the longest, had the most time in between, I believe. But PS4, it's funny, like my game list got a little shorter because a lot of the games I played on PS4 that were highlights were remasters. Like, you had GTA 5, Last of Us, and Black Flag. They carried over to PS4. But some of the new games, some of the highlights, Arkham Knight, Destiny 2 for me, God of War. Was Ragnarok on?
Yeah,
there was Ragnarok. And we had a Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
I know why my list, and it was Madden also, and I forgot what's the game? Wasn't Ghost of Tsushima was on 4 also, right? Yeah. So we had gotten that game and The Last of Us 2. Right? Is that correct? That sounds right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, I like the Arkham Knights. I think City's a better game. Destiny has consumed my video game life since then. A lot of DLCs and a lot of playing time. God of War, I bought that game early, never finished it until 2 years ago. Horizon Zero Dawn was a game that grabbed me. That was something really new. But I was heavy back online on PS4, and there was another game I was about to mention. I can't remember. Oh, Ghost. Ghost was another one. The open world games were probably one of the genres that got me away from Destiny. I don't miss being able to pause the game until I'm actually able to pause the game. If Destiny, you have to find some place to hide or just go into orbit. In these games, the open world games, you get to move at your own pace. And again, some more really good looking games. And the game prices start going up too. PS4, I know this is more recent. And I know as time is going on, we're getting older and some of us have kids and more responsibilities. But Robert, what highlights do you have for the PS4?
Let's see. PS4, I know for sure I spent a lot of time playing Monster Hunter World on that. I racked in maybe 2,000 hours in the entire lifespan of that game. I think in 1 year it was probably the only game I played for like an entire year, and that's pretty rare because I play a lot of different stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my first Monster Hunter game. Let's see, Bloodborne. I know I played that one. That's another one I never finished because it was too difficult, but I could probably go back and play it now. What else? I know it gave us Dragon Ball Fighters. You mentioned Horizon. It gave us Injustice 1 and 2. I think Justice 1 might have been on PS3 now that I think about it. I can't remember. Those ones are good. I'm trying to remember now. I don't think there was too much I played because of said
responsibilities
with that, and Arkham, of course. And then I think once I started waning off of Monster Hunter, it was Division 1 and 2, and that was my new thing that took over my life.
Your new obsession.
Yeah, and I towards the end of the PS4, it would be the fourth time that I bought the Mass Effect trilogy. Because they released it on the Legendary Edition.
Yeah, they were getting us. They resold a lot, and with these last 3 systems, and some of them were at prices you couldn't really ignore. And we began hoarding games. I have the Assassin's Creed Ezio edition just sitting in my library, and some of those games are hard to go back to and play, honestly, but I still try.
I did really enjoy the remake of Resident Evil 2 that they did. That one was really fun. We got Doom and the whatever the second Doom is called. I can't remember what it's called. But those are really fun. The new versions of Doom.
Okay, Terrence. Terrence. Well, I already said your name. I was looking at Mike, but I meant to say Terrence. What about you, sir?
Well, it's funny when Rob mentioned Monster Hunter Worlds because I gave that game 2 chances and it just did not click with me at all. That's probably the only PS4 game I sold. Like I think it was the first game I played after Horizon, and the character just felt so slow and sluggish to me, like swinging those weapons. And I remember after taking down like my first big monster and like just walking, like it was like the monster, it was almost like the monster just didn't exist. Like you could see it was there, but it wasn't. You could just walk through the monster. Like it just didn't exist. Once it's dead, you could just walk through it. And I was just like, what is this? And like everything just felt so slow, and I didn't like the character that I created. So then I just deleted everything. I waited a week. I created a new character. I said, let me do this all over again. And no, everything just felt so slow and sluggish to me, and I was just like, nah, not for me. But I did have it. Yeah. But yeah, I gave it a shot. So I just said, you know what? This is probably my best shot at getting into the Monster Hunter thing, and just didn't work out for me. So, but yeah, Horizon, that was probably my favorite PS4 game. Everything from the gameplay to the story. Let's see, what else did I do on the PS4? See, I was more of a PS4 hoarder than anything. I would just buy, because I think when the PS4 came out, I guess towards the middle of the PS4 era, that's when Best Buy still had the gamers club thing where you get 20% off games and accessories. So I was just buying games. And then once that was over, I just became I pretty much became like a Black Friday buyer. I would just like buy a bunch of games up on Black Friday and then just never get around to them. But Some of the games I did get around to on the PS4 is also Resident Evil 7. I played that with the PSVR headset. That was fun.
Quick story: that game scared the shit out of me. I was still stuck at the table. Like I was like, I can't. I'm not playing this game. And every time Olivia brings it up, because she beat the game, I feel more like a punk because she beat the game, man. It's just like, I'm not playing that game. Like it scares me. But go ahead.
See, Street Fighter 5, Soul Calibur. I guess it's Soul Calibur 6, but it's really kind of really more of a back to base. It's kind of like a remake of Soul Calibur 1. Let's see, what else did I? I've literally got 100 PS4 games. So, what did you say, Rob?
Did you play any of the Mortal Kombat 10 and 11?
I have them. I didn't play them. Let's see. What else did I do on the PS4? Because later into the PS4 era, that's when my basement flooded, and I just really didn't hang out much in the basement anymore. If I was playing anything, I was more on my Switch because I could just hang out on the couch. I could hang out on the couch upstairs, whereas all my real game consoles are downstairs where the kids can't get to them.
Yeah.
Because they, I'll be damned, they're going to get their hands on my expensive shit. But, yeah, what else kind of marked my time with the PS4? I don't know. I just got so many games that I haven't opened. I'm trying to remember one that I did have a good time with. Might come back around to me.
All right. Well, we'll go to Mike. We'll tag Terrence back in when he's done. Mike, what about you for the PS3? PS4, excuse me.
We've always hit on the Uncharted game. I think it was Uncharted 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. Didn't the Spider-Man games hit on PS4?
Yep.
Yes.
Spider-Man and Miles Morales? Yeah. I played those. The Mortal Kombat X, I think that was the last Mortal Kombat for me.
Same.
I'm pretty sure that's when I got to be when my son could beat me pretty easy and it wasn't fun anymore. So that's when I stopped. And I had to beat him for real in real life. So you can't whip my ass and walk out the room. So I had to put my hands on him. So that was the last one I played. The Tomb Raider games, it was like a trilogy. I'm on the last one now. I played 2 of them, and I can't remember the names of them, but I played 2 of them, and the last one I'm still working on.
This is when they overhauled it, right? Was okay. I played the first one, never came back to it, and the first one was really good.
The first 2 were really good. The third one is kind of lacking.
Okay,
I just stopped. Yeah, I just completely stopped on the third one. I need to get back to it. And those, was it Middle Earth games? Was it Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War? I can't remember.
I think it's Mordor. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
I played the first one of that. That's when the game started. The game itself just started becoming too distracting.
Okay.
Like I was saying earlier, with the menus and such, you just be there looking at your game library and looking at all the crap, and it was for me, I just started getting distracted. Those are probably the only games that I probably played more, but I can only remember. I had to look at a list to remember these. It's just too much has started going on with those systems now. It's just
I know exactly what you mean. Like when I was looking at the list, and just because we're all kind of in the same age, life starts to creep in, and so do the prices. The prices of the games going up kind of limits what you're willing to take a chance on. PS2 and I would say PS3, especially the first PlayStation. You're like, oh, let's try this out. Shit, nowadays I need to see reviews, I need to see gameplay, I need to see everything before I give you, what is it, $70 now? If I slap down $70, because guess what? Mike, I was talking about the Lazy Man's feature that works for me. It's downloaded games. I don't have to get up and take the I just turn it off and switch to another game. And like you really got to be sure nowadays if this game's worth it. And I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and games nowadays, it's very rare for me to pick a game that I haven't played a prior game.
Okay.
You know, it's like in the family. Like I still haven't played it, but I'm going to play Horizon Zero West just because I love Zero Dawn. Mm-hmm. I had to give Zero Dawn a chance, but you know what I'm saying? The games are just winding down. It's got to be something. I've been playing Tomb Raider since the 90s, you know.
Yeah, this would be the third, was it 1, 2? Yeah, this would be like the third system where they're trying to resell the same thing.
Right.
And it's like, no, I've had enough. I'm full now. I don't need this game again. But the thing is, they offer them to you at such a ridiculous price sometimes. It's like you can get all three of these games for $20. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay. And we're hoarding right now. Bunch of old guys hanging on to old memories with games. And I know a lot of people like that. It's just they wait for Black Friday or for whatever summertime sale, whatever, however Sony wants to package it. And you're like, I did like this game. Maybe I'll get it and store it in the store it in the library.
You know, I'll still buy used games from GameStop. I don't trade with them as far as sell them stuff, but I'll still buy their used games.
Oh man, I can't stand GameStop
sit on my shelf,
now.
But I'll still buy them.
So there's a bunch of kids in there sound like a bunch of crackheads negotiating. Like, oh, if I give you this. It's like I got money. Can I buy my game?
Yeah, can I get mine and get out? But
right.
It's funny you said about kids. It's funny you said that about. I work in a lab, the data lab. Again, I've said it before, and I'm the oldest cat. One of the oldest cats in the room. I ain't the oldest, but I'm top 5. But I'm a nerd though. I'm into this kind of gaming stuff. You would think that the kids will like me being able to talk to them. I can't. They don't. You know, I know about this stuff. I know about games. I'm not like your regular. They act like I'm just the oldest dinosaur talking about games. Like, I know what I'm talking about. Games and comics. I may not be as technical as some of these guys, but I know what I'm talking about. I mentioned they watched the trailer from what was it? The trailers from Game Awards. And the one that you posted on Emotion.
You still have it.
I watched the Onimusha trailer came on. Yeah. And they were like, what is this? I said, this is Onimusha from Onimusha. I watched this morning. It was a game from PS2. They got all quiet. Like, who let him talk? Like, like I hate it here.
Mike versus the kids.
That's it, man. I can't talk about comics. I hate everything I say in that room.
Kids and casuals. He's taking them out.
The old guy in the corner. Sit him over there against the wall.
Oh, that's good stuff, though, man. That's good stuff. Mike, Terrence, he stepped away for a second, but we were just talking about, with this system, the games are getting more expensive. We don't have as much time. We don't take the gambles that we used to on games, because we're putting down like $70 now for these games. And some games are just dominating our time. Rob has mentioned Division, and for me, Destiny. Like I would really be standing. This is when I did find my way into a store, or if I'm in a PSN store. Like the first question I would ask myself, like, when am I going to play this game? We're hoarding games that we played on previous systems, and they're throwing them at us at a decent price. And you mentioned Black Friday. This is when we would look. Like if we don't look in PSN, we look in on during the summer sales and Black Friday. Like what old games they got in here I can grab for about $15 to $20.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll grab that, and it's normally like a bundle. So yeah, the games we're playing are kind of dwindling down, and they're getting more expensive. Now, like currently, we are in the PS5 era, and I might want to ask what you guys are playing because it might be similar to what we stated before. But the whole point of this whole review was just 30 years is a long time, and like these systems that kind of carried us have been like our escape for a number of years. Let me ask you guys a question: when are you going to stop playing games? Are you close to stop playing games completely, or is you're going to be in your senior home and you're going to bring my PS8 in here?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in the home. I'm never going to stop.
Yeah.
My whole goal is to get more time. Time to read comics and play games. That's all I want. That's retirement. That's all I need.
Mm-hmm. If anything, it's going to be more games.
I want to get to that point. So, all right.
I said, if anything, it's going to be more games as we get older.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there now. Like I would be 45 next year, but it's just like I don't see like I don't see where I'm not going to play this anymore. I think with what we're talking about, it's about finding time and just the price of games kind of dictates how many times we buy games. Like me, I will get, Destiny's kind of slowing down now even though I just saw today they got more stuff coming out next year. But if I guess right, it's going to be more what happened this year with like more horde modes and the big overarching story. I don't know if that's going to ever come back, but there are games I'm going back on. I have games that I just didn't get to because of Destiny. Like I played Red Dead Redemption. I started strong this year, and I just never got back to it. And I'm actually playing it now, trying to finish that. That last God of War, I was in the middle of that, and I'm gonna go back to that. But probably just go back on some old games I couldn't give time to, and just try to clean up on those. But as far as like stop gaming, no. I'm trying to avoid that curve where my kids can beat me. So I'm trying to stay sharp here. Like I don't ever want to get to a point where my son's beat me in Madden or one of these games I take pride in. But it seems to be the way of the gamer, where your offspring end up overtaking you at some point.
Eventually.
Yeah.
One friend Dante at Fancy Drafts, like every year, somebody asked him because he was really good at not live 2K at one point basketball. He said, "Man, I don't play that shit no more." Like my son beat my ass in that game, man. He's like,
that's it.
He like that's his game now. Like I can't. It's not even like, oh, I'm gonna get him back or whatever. He's like resigned to the fact. Like my son is better than me. Yeah, and like I can't beat him. So
that's it. I played Mortal Kombat in the arcade, you little son bitch, and now you can just look me like it ain't nothing. No, this ain't gonna be that way. So I don't even play it no more. I don't even turn it on.
Oh wow!
I think to your point, Q, about like the prices, I think it would be easier for us to get new games if the digital price reflected the fact that the digital should be cheaper than a physical copy. And it's bullshit that a digital copy is $70. It doesn't include a booklet. It doesn't include a disc. It doesn't include a case.
I can't put it on my shelf.
Why am I paying the same price for something that's they can take away at any time?
You have a point there, and I know this was one of Jay's points with saying that we should get away from digital and more to the physical copies.
That's where I'm at. I don't buy games like that.
You did say that too. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I remember, going to midnight releases for games like Madden. Like I remember clear as day. I ran into a guy I went to college with, and we reconnected. I like lost track of him for like 3 years and ran into him during the Madden release party. But I haven't gone to those in like over 10 years. Like I'll buy it in PSN. I see the clock when it's about to download, and I'm good with that. I just don't have the time anymore. Anyway,
only thing that sucks about physical now is a lot of time you don't really get the whole game on the disc anymore. It's like you gotta 80 gigabyte day one patch.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
You're right about that. You are correct, sir. Okay. Well, that was the end of the PlayStation, review. What you got there, Terrence? What titles you got there?
I went down to the basement to remind myself what I had. So, in addition to just the stuff I was hoarding, totally forgot about Spider-Man.
Well, the one that came out on PS4.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm just like, duh, you idiot! How'd you forget you played Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
So Spider-Man, Tekken 7, and I do still have my copy of Monster Hunter World. I could have swore I got rid of this. I could have swore I banished you from my house, but apparently I did play Mortal Kombat 10, Dragon Ball Fighters, Tekken 7. There's some other stuff down there, but yeah, I'll just leave off with that.
Okay. All right. Well, we're at a nice lean hour and a half, and we're going to wrap it up here. If you guys do not hear from us, you guys have a happy holiday. Again, remember to subscribe, download, recommend to people who would enjoy the content that we discuss here on this podcast. So we are going to head out. We appreciate the listen, and we will talk to you guys later. Be safe. And we'll talk to you again.
Good night, everybody.
Peace. Happy holidays.